Outer Rim News with Austin Gordy, Ray Snedeker, and Ashley Wilbanks.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Outer Rim News Show, the post-COVID edition for a couple of us. I just found out that not only did I have COVID, well, first off, I went on some vacation and I came back with the COVIDs. It was great. But I found out that one of my co-hosts, Mr. Austin Gordy, also had it a couple of weeks ago.
I did.
Yeah. Is that the COVID look?
Sorry, I was just trying to rehearse.
Oh, gotcha. And then
I got it too. Yeah.
Then to come to find out that actually we got another sick one that's, plowing through it tonight, giving it his best from some bad fish. Ray Snedeker.
I was trying to hold it until you said that. Oh.
What, your vomit?
Oh, no. Yes. Okay. It's like, I'm good.
That's one thing I've loved about like certain movies. Like to me, there's a quality to like perfect nausea in cinema. There's a wrong way and a right way. And when people do it right, I'm trying to think, there was one particular scene where I thought it was just done perfectly. And you never see anything. It's just all about, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Was it Jim Carrey?
It wasn't Charles Rocket.
That's who I think, Jim Carrey, every time
Yeah, there was that, but it was like something with Charles.
He does have a good throw-up acting.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how Ray's is.
Oh.
Hey, but this is
I wonder. I've avoided COVID. I don't know. I probably have had COVID at this point and don't even never realized it. I've never gotten any of the symptoms though.
I was going to say I've had it twice, and at this point, it is very plausible that not just you, but I just mean people in general have probably had it and never knew they had it. I mean, even down to symptoms. I think that sometimes it'll sneak up on you. And I know I've had it twice, and both times it's because I feel like we're pretty safe, and we have all of our boosters and everything, and we try to stay away from people. And it always seems like it always catches us. Even the last time, I remember. Maybe I jinxed us because I purposefully stayed away from Dragon Con because I'm like, oh, I'm not getting into that mess because you got con crud and then you got monkeypox and it's Atlanta. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm good.
What are you saying? Atlanta's the king of monkeypox?
Well, no, I feel like Atlanta's a big city and they have the CDC and all that there. So, and then I heard that Atlanta was like a big spreader there, So I'm like, you know what?
I would say, yeah. Any con is like a giant petri dish for any kind of sickness that can spread.
And plus, you're already, when you go to Dragon Con, you're going to get sick because it's just they call it the con crud.
Yeah.
And it's just that, I don't know, from being around people.
It's that whole concept.
Don't wash.
It's just a giant. Yeah, just so much. Yeah.
So is a cruise ship.
Yes,
apparently, because that's where I got my COVIDs.
Yeah. So you were on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, a Disney cruise or what kind of cruise?
I wish. No, I can't afford a Disney cruise. Carnival, baby.
Oh,
$800. Me and the wife.
Did you go south or did you go north?
No, we went south. We went to the Dominican Republic and Grand Turk.
Ooh.
Yeah, I hated Grand Turk. It was really nasty.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the beach. I mean, beaches were packed. It was not the prettiest beach in the world. But Dominican was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. We got out of there just before the hurricane, came through. So that was good.
That's Ashley's Carnival cruise review.
Cruise report. Yeah.
You like the Dominican? You'll have
cruise
fun.
news.
Don't like the Grand Turk? We'll have fun.
Don't like the Grand Turk.
Just make sure you do it before a hurricane.
Yep. And you come back with the COVID. So I still got the cough.
I've still got my cough too, man. So I think we've probably been a few weeks apart, in terms of, because you're what, a week or so out. after getting it?
This past week, yeah, it was last week when I
Yeah, so we
last
probably
full week.
we probably miss each other by like 2 or 3 weeks, but
Mm.
like I'm coughing up stuff and still just I felt like this bout I felt it really in the lungs for sure. Like
Really?
it definitely felt it. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I didn't feel it go into my lungs or anything. It felt like a sinus infection, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the after effects are what get you. It's you're better, but then you can't think straight all the time and just super tired. Like I have no energy to do anything kind of feeling. But like I said,
Like,
that's
I'm just gonna
go
watch
away.
Andor.
Well,
Yeah.
half the time I go to get a coffee cup and I end up opening the pantry instead of the cabinet. So
You have long-term COVID.
I got long haul syndrome. Oh, okay. Star Wars.
All right, Star Wars.
So,
Hey, by the way, me and Ray finally were able
Oh,
to
yeah.
connect, and he gave me my care package that we've been working on for a while. I don't have the others. Well, actually, no, I have Obi-Wan with me, but I only got the Jedi Traveler Obi-Wan with this. I've still got his cloth goods
Mm-hmm.
robe on, but this one is one of those where it's going to enforce Ashley's hate of cloth goods, because this one, for some reason,
very stiff. Yeah.
it's very stiff and just doesn't look very good.
Like
Actually,
yeah,
from there, I mean, it looks all right, but
It's very wrinkly. If you look
except for
at it,
that,
it's
like
beat
it,
up.
it's very hard to like get it into a position that you want it in.
Yeah. Now the figure itself, great mold, great face mold.
Yeah.
One thing I will note, the lightsaber is really dope. Like, it's just a good sculpt.
Mhm.
It's got a good glaze on the hilt.
Huh.
It's just a really well done. I think it's a really well done figure.
Well, here's a question
And,
for both of y'all with the
okay.
lightsaber figure, with the lightsaber accessories. Do y'all like that they've started doing the removable blade?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
They've perfected the craft. It looks like,
Because
it
that
looks
one
good.
pops right off. Yeah.
Because it used to be, I remember when they first started doing that with episode 2 figures, it was like it just didn't work. It was a good idea, I guess, but it just, they still had some work to I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it seems like they've kind of got it now.
Yeah, it definitely. Now, I can't speak for the like vintage series figures. I'm sure it's a little bit harder to get those, because they're even smaller, but I'm sure they're probably just as good. But no, I love this. Ahsoka, she's in the glass case with my other Mandalorian figures, and I haven't opened Cobb Vanth yet. But I'm very, very excited. I think it'll be tonight or sometime this weekend. I think I'm gonna finally bust him out and play with him a little bit.
That looks cool.
Dude, this all of them look good. I know that this one in particular, I don't know why I have to give it a good shout out, because the face sculpt and everything is so good on this.
You're just a fan of Timothy Elephant.
Who isn't?
But they could have definitely gone wrong with this. I'm just saying, until I see how Mayfeld is, that's true. But until I see how the Mayfeld, I'm excited for the Mayfeld figure, but I don't know if his sculpt is going to be as good as this. But they just did a really good job on the overall figure and the face sculpt and everything. I was impressed. I was impressed with this. I was impressed they even did the figure.
Speaking of face sculpts, we could segue into one other quick thing that happened today.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Slightly related to Star Wars.
You're the one that bought it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, today Hasbro, particularly their website for buying Hasbro toys, Hasbro Pulse. They finally started their selfie series. They launched it today. And if you don't know what the selfie series is, you can basically go on the app, the Hasbro Pulse app on your phone. There's a selfie series section in there. So basically what the selfie series is action figure that you can have your own face or an approximation of it sculpted to be the head of an action figure. And what you'll do is you'll have your face scanned. I did this. And what it does, it just gets your base face, and then you can do additions. Like if you want to put hair on it, you'll choose from a list of hairdos. So I couldn't exactly just put my hair, and you can put some facial hair on it too.
That sucks.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a work in progress for him. I bet. I
Oh,
bet
yeah,
as
yeah.
as time goes on, they'll be able to refine it and do better. I'm betting if it pays off as a
Mhm.
worthy endeavor for him. And also, after you get your face scanned and choose what you want, you'll pick from a variety of different Hasbro licensed brands. Like you can pick to be your figure base, like the body your figure will be in. So
Mhm.
you can do Star Wars, you can do Power Rangers. I think there's GI Joe, Ghostbusters,
Marvel. Was there a Marvel?
Marvel. Uh,
So,
yeah,
what were the Star Wars options?
Star Wars options. There are 4 Star Wars options. There is a Mandalorian warrior, which is basically just Din Djarin's in his Beskar armor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Beskar armor body, which is the one I ended up picking.
Yep.
There is a Stormtrooper body.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Leia's Hoth, the white Hoth outfit.
You should have chose that one, but go ahead.
I should have. And there was one more. Actually, I can pull it up real quick and try to remember what it is. No, I can't remember what it is. There was one more Star Wars one.
You didn't want to do the
I do remember now. Rebel is a Rebel pilot body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the orange jumpsuit. That's what it was. Yeah.
I probably would have had to go with that because at least you could. Can you put the helmet on?
I don't think so. Like even the Mandalorian, I think it's just. I think it's mainly meant to showcase, the face stuff. So, but it'll be interesting. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be here. It's November 14th, I believe they said is the approximation of when it's going to be delivered by, and then I guess we can view it then. Show either it's going to be nice or it's going to be a monstrosity.
And how much does something like this cost?
Now, this is the weird part. It was $59.99. That was the price. But for some reason, like there was a report that came out earlier in the week that said it was going to be $80. And also their FAQ was saying $79.99. And whenever I bought it, that still didn't end up being the price.
What was it?
It was $59.99. Which was
I know I saw a little bit of that on the Hasbro PulseCon thing today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking they said, "Are you a Pulse member?"
Nope.
I was thinking they said maybe
it could be a promotion just for like the first few days, maybe to kind of get people more on board.
They said there was a reason why it was $59.99.
Oh, okay.
There was a reason, and I can't remember. I can't remember if they said it was Pulse members or maybe it was the first few days or during PulseCon or something.
Just don't tell them that I'm not a member.
No, but I will tell them. I'm emailing him as we speak. Hasbro Pulse.
Darn you, Hasbro.
You have a hacker.
But it should be interesting. I'm very curious as to how it's going to turn out. So
me too. I can't wait to see what you look like as a Mandalorian.
Well, I'll say this: the face scan stuff, like because I had to do an update. Then you actually had to download a file within the app to, I guess, it had all the file stuff for like the face scan tech or software, and it was very glitchy. And I found out I wasn't the only one. Apparently, a lot of people online were having it because no matter how many. So what it does is when you're getting your face scanned. All it does is it has you look straight, it has like a little outline area it wants you to look at. It'll tell you turn a little bit to the left. Turn to the left, and then turn back, and then turn to the right, and turn back. And 95% of the time, it would do this processing thing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it would just go, "Yeah, scan. Something went wrong with your scan. You got to do it again." And this happened over and over until you finally get one that works, and if you weren't satisfied with it and tried it again, you might be stuck with it again. So
I imagine they're hitting those servers pretty hard.
Yeah.
Everybody.
My wife told me, it's like, oh, I think I got a good one here. My wife looked at it and said, "You look like Ted Cruz there." And I thought this was probably the best looking one I had. And then she said that, put that in my head. And I was like, I don't want to look like the Zodiac Killer. So I went and I just went and re-raced it, and then I spent like an hour trying again. And I finally got one. It's halfway decent, at least I hope it is. And we'll see in November.
But you said it doesn't come with the helmet, right?
No, not from what I've seen.
So technically, you're not a Mandalorian.
No, I'm not a member of the Watch.
Oh, yeah, that's true because you have taken your helmet off.
They're crazed cultists. So.
Yeah, and because we know you've taken your helmet off because that's the only figure that you have is with no helmet. So
I just stole some Mandalorian armor, but I don't have the helmet. So,
oh Lord,
kind of doesn't really, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
A disappointment.
You're a thief. You're a thief. All right. So, all that out of the way, we did get some new Star Wars content on Disney Plus while we were gone. And unfortunately, I think only one of us has seen all 4 episodes that's been released so far. One of us has seen 3, and the other has only seen 1.
Awesome, man! I told you, you gotta get on the ball.
I do
watching
need to
this
get
stuff, man.
I need to get on top of getting that the newest episode. But tell me this, Ashley, what do you think of the latest episode? Is it kicking off?
Yeah, it's gearing up. So, to me, it kind of started off a little slow, but it's on an upward trajectory.
I feel like so far the first 3 episodes have really just been a slow build towards something blowing up. So I've wondered how the 4th episode is going to go down. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
Yeah, so think of like the first 3 episodes as a trilogy, and I think these next 3 episodes are probably like a trilogy, but a little different, and then the next 3 will be the same way. So, like the first 3 tell a little story, and I think basically his origin story, right? And the next 3 are dealing more with. I don't want to spoil it, but they. It's a different feel for this 4th episode, and I think the 5th and 6th probably as well. Yeah. But let's, if you want to talk about the first episode, while we have some time here, and this is going to be a shorter episode, not Andor season 1. I mean series 1, episode 1, but the Outer Rim News show is going to be a little shorter tonight. But so let's kind of talk about just the first episode. Do y'all remember the first episode?
Yeah, I mean, you start out your 5 years, or we established that it's 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. Yeah. So it kind of puts us in the same time period as Rebels, happening at the same time, and then you just kind of follow Andor on this planet, and kind of seeing where he's coming from or what he's up to, and
So in the beginning, I was kind of confused by the security force that he comes up against,
because they're private security, aren't they? They're a private security company, aren't they?
No,
are you talking about Corsec or something like that?
Yeah, are they in the, like
a? They've been in the canon forever. I mean, they've.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is like them bringing it to the screen for the first time. I think. I don't think they've ever been shown before.
I mean, is it
like novel territory stuff?
Yeah.
So is that correct? Are they like a PMC, like a paramilitary corporation?
I thought something like that, or at least or either they're somehow tied into, because there's Imperial security, and then there's CorpSec, which is, if it's like it's non-Imperial, maybe it's got something to do with like mid-rim or outer rim.
So I remember that name. I remember the name of CorpSec. That's what made me think paramilitary company, because I was thinking, it sounded like a corporate name.
Yeah, so the way it works is you have the Empire, and I guess you have where the Empire at this point hasn't fully taken over everywhere, right? Because the galaxy's huge. But I guess they've kind of hired this group out to, they
outsourced
control a certain sectors of space or whatever, right? And this planet is under them. But I'm going to spoil some stuff if I don't shut up. But yeah, that's how that works.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so they're like the police for that area. They're the police. They're the police. Yeah, for that area. And then Andor. Apparently, part of this series is him searching for his sister.
Yeah, and that's completely new. That's completely new information for us in terms of Cassian, right? We didn't know he had siblings.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's their gateway to opening up for a new character that can be introduced down the line somewhere else.
I'm thinking so. So. Yeah. So he goes to this I guess like a brothel or something. Am I?
Yeah. From that sound no. That's in the first episode. I'm just saying, okay. That fits. I was thinking about the place, and the way she described it, it did come across like so it's a brothel / bar. I think anything you kind of wanted to do there seedy seemed like you could pay for.
Yep. And he's searching for his sister, but apparently he doesn't. He's a few days too late or something, and then he runs into some local trouble with some off-duty. What do you call them? Corsac. What was the name of the
idiots?
Yeah, they're idiots, but they're part of that.
They're called Premor Security Inspection Team.
Premor, okay.
Yeah, Premor, and it's part of the CorpSec, which is like there. And Premor is like a division of the Empire. Like they're somehow linked to the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy, but
you'll see more. You'll see more in episode 4 about
here. I'll give you a one-word link between the Empire and this company. Probably just guess. Credits, money. I bet that's the link. Someone gets money.
Yeah. See here in the original canon, they were. It was corporate sector, also known as CorpSec, was located in the galaxy's outer rim territories. That was governed by the Independent Corporate Sector Authority.
Yeah. But at this point, the Emperor hasn't abolished the Senate yet, right? So the Senate's still in control, and he hadn't pushed out his, empire everywhere. So I'm sure that's how some of this stuff is.
I would like to see. I wonder how that went down. Like, show it in a comic or a book. Did he just show up in his little middle chamber one day? He's like, "Okay, go home," or did he just kill them all one by one?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it happened during A New Hope.
I mean, it's just it's a single throwaway line by who I think it's Tarkin. Yeah, he just says, the Senate's gone. He's abolished it. Okay. Yep. And looking back, that's a pretty big thing that happened now.
Yeah, but I mean, it probably took place over a period of time, and it was just more of a,
we're going to make nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
being announced. I guess
it's already happened, but we're making it official.
Yeah,
over time, the Senate had less and less authority. I'm assuming,
or there were just less and less people showing up.
Yeah, really.
It's like only Bail Organa was left.
Him. I've killed her.
You're okay. You can stay, Bob.
Yeah. But so and then these two idiots run into Cassian again and pretty much force Cassian to accidentally kill him. And he didn't mean to kill the first guy.
He sure didn't mean to kill the second one though.
Yeah, he meant to kill the second guy.
No witnesses.
And then it became a him escaping and some. You always have one of these guys at work, one of these people at work who
covers for him.
The straight-laced guy who
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he has to follow orders to a T, and he makes more of this than what his superior wanted him to make of it, and he pushes the envelope and actually goes after Cassian.
Well,
that's the start of the series.
It's an annoyance, I think, because I think we're supposed to look at this guy with disdain because he is a stooge for, what we don't want represented, in the. But on the surface, he does kind of represent, what you would want a person to do because he actually is wanting to do his job. Which is funny. I mean, it's funny to look at it that way. Is that he's the one wanting to do normally what a typical, I guess, good guy cop would. I'm only going by the first episode, so I don't know what he's done since then. But his superior at the time, he's just a very lazy. I'm willing to just let it come off like, accidentally got killed, honorably, whatever.
Yeah.
Give him some funeral rites or whatever.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting inverse on it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, like I said, the series so far, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I think it took a little bit to get off the ground, but it's on this upward trajectory. It's a little more. I'm always going to be of the mindset that Star Wars is for kids, right? Rogue One, while it was a little more adult because it had some real grown up kind of matters happening, was still to me a kids movie. This show so far, there's some foul language that has never been said in a Star Wars show before, and I'm like, wow, And there's a scene that takes it a little too far for my taste in Star Wars. If it's a Marvel show, that's different. Star Wars to me is like sacred. Like some things you shouldn't do, and they go while they don't show anything, they just go a little too far. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the pushing too much grown up themes inside of Star Wars like that.
Yeah.
But some people probably love it though. So
I guess it comes down to that thing is, are we okay with there being facets of storytelling within Star Wars that can get outside of the norm? I guess, stories that can be told that can be allowed to kind of get outside of it without feeling like it's something that has to be, like almost like how you would say the episodes are, the big show, the big thing you want to watch. But, if you are saying like you want to get into something along this territory, say there was some Star Wars story that was more horror oriented, like almost like an alien version of Star Wars. It would be bloodier. Not everybody would, might get a lot of. That's what I'm saying. Like, would it be? I guess would we be okay with that?
I don't know that I would be, because I think there's ways to do that without it being bloody. I mean, look at Universal monster movies, right?
Yeah,
they're classic movies. They're not overly bloody, but everything they do is implying something else, whether it's through shadow or camera cuts away or whatever. And you can still do that in Star Wars and keep it kid friendly. I don't know. I don't know why Star Wars and not anything else that I have this issue with. But for some reason with Star Wars, is it pure or something? I don't know. Maybe in my head, I got to keep it that way. I don't know.
Well, I feel you though, because sometimes you can open the doors to all kinds of stuff when you start to really push the envelope with certain franchises. Like with Star Wars is an exception where, when you start to push instead of breaking new ground, like you said, it starts to become not what it was meant to be. And Star Wars is, it's kind of built for children, really. It's like space opera for kids, but
kind of balance finding new ground while also, so it's almost like you're toeing the line of like,
right. Like you don't want to jump in there and say
a story, but not suddenly become like, I'm trying to think of something like
I don't want to see like, oh, we're going to try to do this. It's going to be a teenage, raunch fest comedy.
American Pie Star Wars.
It's going to be an American Pie in the Star Wars universe. Like, it's going to be great, guys. We're going to speak
that's the
to the
elevator
audience.
Pitch.
Yeah, and I'll be like, you know what? That I think Star Wars is good without it.
It's
kind of like, to me, it's
find a way to adulthood.
To me, this is a good way to explain it. And I feel like sometimes I pull Star Trek into this, but Star Trek, I think, has a show, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's called Lower Decks, and it's supposed to be like an animated comedy set in the Star Trek universe. So that I find that hard to digest. So I want to watch it, and I've heard good things, but it's just, it's like, there's certain things. It's like when you're just trying to throw in different formulas at an IP to see if I can just make something, like I can stir something up.
Yeah.
But with Andor, what it felt like, and I can see with Ashley, it's way more of an adult show, and it doesn't pull punches in terms of being an adult. But I do like it. I like how it kept the look and kind of the tone of Rogue One
It did.
with
It
the
does.
they like the cinematography and stuff. It looks great. It is rough, and I'm also wondering what the overall purpose is going to be of the show, other than if it's like some uprising of the rebellion in some way, so you'll get to see more inner workings of the politics. I think I don't know. If with a show called Andor, what's the show going to be about?
Obviously it's going to be about him, but I think it's showing you the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance.
Right. That's
That-
what I feel like is the
yeah.
overall what they're going for. So I could see that theme being a dark theme because you're dealing
Yeah.
with
But
kind of
also-
terrorism and stuff.
Well, yeah,
like that.
because you're thinking about. I mean, I think that's supposed to be, at least from what I've gathered from the trailers and stuff. It's the moral quandaries of what lines do we cross? What lines
Yeah,
are we
yeah.
willing to cross to do what we feel is for the betterment of the universe, like to try to how do we do this without becoming worse than the people we're trying to stop?
Right.
Which is
So
what I
it's-
think part of what happens with Saw is that he does end up crossing that line, and it never really.
And
I
you
don't think
saw
comes back from it.
Right. And I felt like with Saw, you saw the after effects of it in Rogue One. It was like, this is what
broken
you
down.
could be. You could be this
Yeah.
broken, crazy fanatic that's just
Yeah.
like, oh, we gotta
hiding
destroy
away
him,"
in
you
a
know?
crate, hiding away in a cave.
Yeah. So it's like you see that side of it, but you never got to see the journey of what pushes a man to that. You just knew that dude would do anything, to fight for freedom and
And those are definitely more adult themes to deal with, especially the moral quandaries of it.
But even though you got more adult themes, why do you have to have adult language?
True
So-
that too. I sometimes I wonder about those choices with certain, like with Star Wars. I could see like it being a very odd conversation. Like I mean, me personally, I would go, "What is your justification for this man saying this in this scene and not saying something like Carabast or Blast
Poodoo.
or Poodoo?"
Poodoo instead
Yeah.
of what he said,
Oh,
Right.
I think I heard about this. So he says the vulgar version of crap, I guess.
Yes, he does.
I've heard it. So that word gets officially kind of brought into the
Canonized
lexicon,
right there. Yeah,
canonized in the Star Wars lexicon. It's interesting. So
Yeah, and
that
seeing
puts,
it's kind of weird. I mean, I could see it.
well,
I could
hell is in there. We have hell already.
Yeah,
Right.
we do.
But but remember though, we have established though that there's so many ways you can say hell. Like hell isn't like a human terms as much as it could just be it could be applied with so many different things. But I agree, it's that's always a questionable conversation. I just hope that those are conversations that are had. That's the only thing, and I'm sure they are. I couldn't imagine Matt what's his name, Matt Martin, or I think it's something.
Matt.
I think it's Matt. It's Matt something, but in Pablo, like I could just see them just going like, "What are you doing?" Like, "What are you saying?" Like me, I would go like if the word crap was there, I'd go, "This doesn't make sense. Why do you justify the reasoning for why you need to use the word crap?"
Well,
That's not a Star Wars word at all, and it sounds like child slang. Why do you need to say? Why did this character go? "Oh, this was a bunch of crap"?
Yeah.
That's the kind of conversations. Yeah, that's the kind of conversations I would have
in the universe.
Yeah.
And
Well, the only excuse I would say for having that conversation, is because it's Star Wars. If it was anything else, we wouldn't have that conversation.
And only because these standards have been set up from the beginning.
Yeah, it's a world.
George Lucas set up this whole thing, and he never used. And I'm not saying there's not a place for foul language. I'm just saying he chose to create words that fit inside this universe and not like earthly terms.
I'll take a guess at one reason why is Tony Gilroy. He approaches, because I saw this in an interview. It's a strength for him, I guess, coming into it is he's not coming in it from a huge Star Wars fan perspective. I think he's coming in it from just a storytelling perspective. And so I'm guessing naturally in the dialogue, when he feels that it's better in his, now I'm saying this from his perspective, if he just sees it better for him as just a writer, not thinking about Star Wars and lore and all that, just thinking I think this hits the dialogue better if I just have this word, I have to say it like this. It could just be as simple as that, but
And
nobody wanted to, nobody saw it and said anything different about it. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to ask, this is the director, this is the same guy that came in and did the touch-ups on Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd still like to know what all he changed and added to the movie.
It is strange how retrospectively he has become the name more synonymous with
the movie.
Rogue One.
It's almost like they started to slowly push Garth out, like he's
Gareth.
like he just. Oh yeah, I said Garth. Sorry, Gareth. Yeah, I could see them.
Star Wars, man. If you gotta puke,
hey,
puke
I kind of directed this too.
Oh man. Yeah, it is strange looking back, and he hasn't been. Yeah, it's like he's kind of been phased out of the conversation of Rogue One.
But yeah, I would say I'm overall though I'm excited for the show. It seems to be going in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a way slower burn than if you're like a fan of Mandalorian and some of the other shows. It's just I feel like those first 3 episodes alone were like one big pilot.
Well, quick thing.
Flashbacks. Lots of flashbacks.
A lot of flashbacks.
Quick observation I found funny watching the first episode, because this is just from watching the first one. I thought all the hoops that Andor was going through in the first episode after the murder, where he was trying to, it looks like he was almost trying to close every hole that could connect him to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost came across like, man, he's giving me some con man vibes right now, because he's like going to everybody he knows, trying to get, I need to think for this. I need to think for this. Yeah, it's like, man, I mean, I'm digging it, but yeah.
Well, that's why he's the perfect person they're looking for for his role in the rebellion.
Yeah,
because he has these skills.
Mm-hmm. Sad, depressed droid. Who voices that droid?
I don't know.
I felt so that droid evoked nothing but pity from me every time I watched him. Like, man, I feel bad for that. Someone needs to pat him on the head. Just tell him good job.
Good job, droid. What is the droid's name? I can't remember.
He reminded me of Eeyore a bit for some reason. I was getting Eeyore vibes.
We're getting a Black Series figure.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the Empire.
I can't lie for you, Andor. I'm just a droid. All right. So we've actually run a little bit longer than what we were talking about. Running. So we're gonna wrap this episode up. Hopefully we'll be back maybe next week after next. I don't know. We're gonna try to continue. Hopefully people can watch the rest of the freaking Andor series, so we can catch up. And then we can maybe attack the rest of the series next time.
May even have some book stuff to talk about too.
Oh, it's book stuff to talk about. And tomorrow, PulseCon does their Star Wars reveals. So there'll be some new toy reveals.
Oh, I wonder if two big ones I think were in the pipeline last time we saw a thing from Hasbro. We might see Bastila and Darth Malik this time. They were maybe in the pipeline back at, I think, Comic-Con or something like that around then.
Yeah, but who knows, man? There's been a lot of stuff canceled since then too. So
I do have a quick call.
Okay.
So check this out. Zalbar from Knights of the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first Wookiee figure.
Sword.
Yeah.
Really?
And my first Wookiee. And I got him for a great deal. So I found him. He was already on clearance at this GameStop for $19.99. Mm-hmm. And the section he was in was a special clearance section to where you could take 50% off of the already clearance price. So that brought him down to $10. And I also, because I had one of those annual pro memberships going on.
Yep.
And I still hadn't used my $5 for the month, and asked me, "You want to use it?" So the month was almost up. Might as well use it. So got him down to $5. So I paid $5 and change for this Zalbar.
Oh yeah. You can't beat that.
That's a great deal.
Yeah,
dude, that was a steal
for a massive. Yeah, that's a massive.
I saw in my local Oh man, my local Walmart has like a ton for some reason. Maybe it's going to start hitting all the Walmarts, but they had a ton of the Dark Troopers for some
Ooh.
reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got to grab one. Yeah, because I want one. They had like plenty. So yeah, when I go back, I'm going to
Nice.
grab one.
Awesome.
All right.
Then
Well-
I'll have my Luke Skywalker figure soon, like whenever that comes out, and then I'll have him chopping
Have him
up some
facing
Dark
off.
Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot ya.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Outer Rim News Show.
Beep boop beep.
Oh, here
Yes. Yes.
and then he paints his wall with diarrhea.
How was that fish, Ray?
it comes.
All right.
It was slimy.
See you later. May the force be with you.
Later days.